This Celayix training video talks about handling time-off requests. This video is for the 8.14 release of Celayix. The process is different on the 900 release. There's a separate video for that. So there's a time-off sequence for time-off requests, and it's like this. Employee places their request for time off. You get notified about the request. You approve that request, and then finally the employee sees that you've approved it. So let's go through those steps. Let's take a look at Team Express for Andrews. We can see here that Andrews has placed a sick request for July 10 from 8 until noon. Also, he's placed a request for vacation time on the 17th through to the 28th. Now, you get notified about these things by email or by text. Let's see here, I've got it by email. And I have a number of emails here. So I've got one here. This first one here is for the Archie Andrews dentist appointment on the 10th. I've also got another one for this other guy, Barker, who asked for some time off from the 20th to the 24th. And then finally, I've got this one, as we know, it's from the 17th to the 28th, is by Andrews. So there's you seeing that the requests have been placed. You've been notified. Somehow you got notified. The alert mechanism built into Celayix is going to send you either these emails or it could send you texts. Now, if you're using this system and you're not getting those alerts, just give Celayix support a call. They'll be able to help you out and get that established. Now that you know about these requests, you need to deal with them. And you do that inside of Visual Scheduler. In version 8.14 of Celayix, it's Visual Scheduler where you take care of these time-offs. In version 900, you do that somewhere else. And there's a separate video to take care of that. All right, so here you are, Visual Scheduler. There's the schedule as it stands so far. As we can see here, actually, on the 10th, Andrews does already have a shift, but he's asking for some time off on that same day. We're going to see what happens with that. So the time off manager is where we want to be. You go to the Tools menu at the top here. You choose Time Off Schedule. Time Off Manager pops up here, and we can see here are the time offs that are in place already for this week. There's nothing so far. So let's now bring in those requests. Here where you see actual time offs, not the request, but actually approved time offs. Let's go now to where we pick up the time off requests. It's under the File menu under Import. We're importing requests. And it brings us to this page. So this page here shows us now the requests that have been placed. You can see they're all sitting in the requested status. They were asked for on the 4th. Now that's important. The dates up here that you see from the 4th to the 4th in this case, these are the dates that the request was actually made or actually placed by the employee. Not the time that they want to take off, but rather when did they ask in the first place. So generally, you're going to take these dates at the top and you're going to go back by a little bit. Let's say you go back in 1 week or 2 weeks to see all the requests that have been made recently. Then it'll bring those up and you can see which ones are requested and which ones have already been dealt with. So the ones you need to deal with are those that are sitting in the requested status. So let's take a look here. We've got this first one. This is Andrews asking for his dentist appointment. We can see on the bottom part of the page a little bit more of the details. It's from the 10th. It's from 8 in the morning till noon, 4 hours worth of time off. And he's classed it as sick time, being going to the dentist. All right, we're going to grant that. We're going to say, yes, it's okay. We do that by going to the post. Select post, and then we're going to tell it, okay, this thing that's sitting as requested right now, what do we want to do? Well, we want to change it to be approved. Once we press okay, any shifts that he might have already in place on that same period, they're going to get turned into open shifts because it can't be absent and present at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and press OK on that one. All right, that's been done. It's been approved, and we can see here posted. Posted means now it is a for real, actually processed time off request. Now we'll do the same thing with this next one. Barker has asked for fishing time what time? The 20th, 24th. So we go ahead, we're going to say yes, we want to post that one also. I'm going to make it approved also. And again, if Barker had some time scheduled already in that period, it would have been turned into open shifts, and you'd see those as yellow blocks. Thirdly, our friend Andrews again, now he wants 2 weeks off at the end of the summertime. And we're going to say no on that one. So we're going to post that one, and we're going to say we are taking that and we are declining it. Basically, we're saying, sorry, can't do it. And we press OK. All right, all 3 of those have been processed now. They've been posted. So they're a done deal. You've taken care of them. And now let's see where you can see the effects of what you've just done. All right, so we get out of the importer. And we go back to the time off manager. And we can see here now, this entry here was not there originally. And that's the approved time off for Andrews, sick time on the 10th from 8 in the morning till noon. So that's what we approved for Andrews. Let's go ahead by 1 week here. And we go ahead by 1 more week. And we can see now the approval that we did for vacation time for Barker on the 20th through to the 24th. Now, if we go ahead again into the period where Andrews was asking for time off at the end of July, and there it is. But when we tap on it, we can see at the bottom, these are declined. So they were not, they were still something that's been posted. So now it's sitting here on the time off calendar, but it's not approved. It's been declined. So that means if the person did have work already scheduled for those days, he still has that work. Okay, so that's how we can see that in here. Getting out of the time off manager now, we come back to here. We can see now that, oh yeah, look at that. This time that Andrews had has now been turned into a yellow block open. It doesn't belong to him anymore. You need to find somebody else to take that space. So that's up to you to go ahead and locate a suitable replacement for that day. Now, scheduler here, visual scheduler, it can only show you shifts. It can't show you actual time off. So that time off is shown inside the tool that we were just looking at. However, if you want to see a page that includes both scheduled shifts, like we see here, and also time offs, there is a way to see that, and that's inside the Schedule Express, the web version of the visual scheduler that we've got here. So let's go ahead now into Schedule Express. Schedule Express I've got open here. Right there. So I'm not going to refresh this page. And we see here now we've got an open shift. And we also see, okay, this line going across, that's for Andrews. He's working, he's working, he's working, he's working. He's got some sick time from 8 o'clock till noon. So that's the approved time off. So our red box there is time off. The time that he did have has been turned into an open shift to be dealt with. Now this screen strip, by the way, that's also if he or any employee had requested to indicate that they are available. So they've offered their availability. This particular view also shows that. So this one view, as we can see it right here up at the top, this layout or this view of the page, employee availability and time off. This particular one, that's the one that shows this layout of having schedules, plus time off, plus availability if there is any. All right, so this is what we're looking at for this current week. Let's go ahead into the next couple of weeks to see the time off that Barker asked for. And there it is. And continuing again, let's see what it looks like for the time off that was declined for Andrews. So that was at some point in July. And there we see it. So this is the time off that was requested, but it is declined. How do we see it's declined? We would have to open up, double click on the item here, and we can see here now a little bit more detail that it was declined. So it's still sitting there just the same way as it was sitting there inside of the time off manager inside of a visual scheduler. All right, so this is now how you get to see the time offs that have been approved. The last step now is for the employee so that he or she can now see, well, what have you done with their time offs? So let's take a look at that. You're going to go back into the Team Express, This is the Team Express for Andrews, where he had asked for some sick time and some vacation time. I'm going to refresh this page so we can see now, instead of being in requested, they're going to be in approved stage. All right, so the one that was approved, any single day item, well, any approved item gets turned into now each of the individual days that was asked for. So if we take a look at this one here, it was approved. Now, all these other days, basically everything that is a red block now, you see it as its own line in here. So this started as a single line, and now it's been expanded into each one of those days, each one of those individual events that has been declined. If you want to see more detail about the month, you tap where it has the month name at the top, and now we can see, okay, for July, what have we got? Well, we have one of our time offs sitting on the 10th. If we look now at August, well, there are some time offs that we're covering also that period of August. Now, you don't see from here that it was approved or denied, but as you work your way down the page here, scroll, 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 you can see all of these are declined. So that, in summary, is how you deal with time offs. You go ahead and create the time offs. No, the employee places a time off request. You get notified about the request. Then you do something to approve the request, which in version 8.14, you go to the visual scheduler and the time off manager. You import the requests from there. Then you get to see the results of you having done the approvals by going back into the time off manager, or you can use Schedule Express to see the time offs in addition to the schedules. And finally, how does the employee see what you've done with his or her time off requests? They go back into their Team Express and they can see the approvals from there. So hopefully this has been of some benefit to you. We've seen the full cycle. If you've enjoyed this video, take a look at some of the other training videos on the support channel. Thank you.